Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of NC-17. My name is Josh, and today we are blessed to have on our screens with us a very talented actress, Miss ASHLEIGH AMBERLYNN. How are you doing today?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm good. I'm good. How
That's
are
good.
you?
I'm pretty good. A lot of sneezing, but I'm pretty good.
It's that time
Uh,
of year.
oh yeah. Introduce us to your friend you have there.
Oh, her name is Tiffany.
Oh yeah. How old is she?
Oh gosh, she might be like a couple months, if that. Like, I just got her. Her sister is somewhere around here.
So before we get into the movies and kind of where you are today and
Mhm.
the projects you've worked on and stuff, kind of take us back a little bit when you were younger. Was movies always what you wanted to? Was that your passion, or was it just something that kind of happened out of the blue?
Yeah, no, I have always loved movies, whether it was just it started really young. I would act out every single part in any movie that I was obsessed with in my grandmother's living room. God bless her soul. Um, because I spent so many hours doing that. And it was something I always loved, and I love being able to step into a character, and movies have always been a huge part like of my life personally, as far as being a fan, like, and then being a safe place, and then being home, and like in a sense of enjoyment. Like, I've always wanted to leave something that like people can enjoy and cause like happiness for a long time. So
Oh yeah, I mean that's awesome. So when you were kind of just starting your path off and everything like that, was there a specific genre you wanted to do, or was it just whatever felt comfortable to you?
I so it's funny enough, I always knew that I liked movies, and I kind of like I liked acting, but I saw Moulin Rouge, and that is what made me want to actually pursue it. And ironically enough. And then as far as genres, I always loved horror. I really did, but I really honestly I was like, "Oh, I'm going to lean more towards like the drama and the romance kind of thing." And it's just kind of like, you know, it just it takes a different turn. And I'd always remember practicing like the scream when I was younger, like especially because they had like little TV shows that were out, like Scream Queens and stuff, and they were trying to find who was gonna be like the scream. So I was just, again, my grandmother's a saint because she dealt with that too. I would just practice my screams. So
Oh yeah. Uh, so would you consider yourself a method actress, or just you go with the flow and whatever character comes out of you is what you present?
well, I mean, I definitely like to try and embody the character, and I like to try and definitely understand who the character is as a person and then portray that character. Method, not so much, but I also don't feel like I've been given quite an opportunity for a method acting kind of role. I would love to. Definitely into psychological kind of stuff. That's always interests me. So, but
Oh yeah. So getting into the movies, what movies kind of like were ones that kind of inspired you outside of Moulin Rouge, which, by the way, one of my favorite movies of all time.
it's a classic.
Oh yeah.
Baz Luhrmann just like came out with like bangers and nothing else. I don't know how that happened. um, like inspired me like as an actress.
Yeah.
Hmm. So this is gonna probably come out of left field, but definitely like the older movies, like the classics, kind of like I guess they were like kind of like musicals in a sense sometimes, but like definitely Breakfast at Tiffany's was one of them that I adored it. It was the classic. I love Audrey Hepburn. Um and then I I love I love the movie 13, honestly.
That's a
which
good
is
movie.
I always imagined I was gonna do a movie like 13, and then I'm just like, well, I think I've aged out of that a little bit. So, but I love those kind of like really like gritty like coming of age stories where it's raw and it smacks you in the face. Um,
Oh yeah.
and then
uh,
probably like the last one would be like I really 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 loved oh, I loved the Skeleton Key.
oh yep, good movie.
So that was another great one. I loved Jennifer Hudson and I loved everything about New Orleans. So
Yeah. So kind of
or
take
Kate
us.
Hudson, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Kind of take us to your first audition, and was you nervous or was you confident? And did you land it, or did you get a bunch of? Did you get no's and then the yes? Kind of walk us through that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll count my like first audition as when I started getting back into things because that's really where the meat of it comes in. My first audition was for it's actually a three-part short film series and it's actually on YouTube. I love it. Um, and I auditioned for it. I got the role. I was very nervous. I was like, my God, I haven't done this in how many years? And I'm just like, I'm just basically going off of pure passion and pure drive because I don't have anything at this point. And, I heard back and I got the yes, and I was like, and then I ended up reprising the lead role for all three installments. So it was really, really awesome.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's so starting off with when you were getting back into it, getting the lead in a three-part series, was that shocking to you, or was that more along the lines of, you know, like didn't come as because you said you were nervous, but was it shocking or not shocking that you got
Well,
the lead?
so it started as just one, and then it just kept going. So that was when like it wasn't like pitched as a three-part thing. It kept happening. So that was actually like really, really cool. And I was like, oh, you liked me.
Oh yeah. Uh, so let's go into because I'm looking at your IMDb right
Mhm.
now. Let's go into virus because you were just literally just a voice for that.
Mhm.
Do you find that easier just adding your voice than being on the screen?
Oh, absolutely. You don't have to get camera ready for voiceovers first off. You don't have to worry about, hitting any kind of marks or lighting or setting up. It's so much easier to add a voice than it is to actually be on camera, but I prefer being on camera. So, but I like
Okay.
voiceover work. I'm definitely interested in it. I just haven't done it much.
Oh yeah. Uh, so outside of being in movies, you do photo shoots and stuff like that. Which one do you find is more challenging, the movies or the art?
Well, they're both art. But modeling versus like acting, I would say they're about as equally as challenging. It's just in different ways. Um, you know, with modeling too, especially you get it. I feel like for me personally, anyway, there's more instances of where I can feel more awkward and, kind of you having to figure out what to do next. What's the next pose you're going to do? What kind of, shoot do you want to do? What's the next thing you want to do? Whereas really with acting, the things that you're worrying about is making sure you're remembering your lines, delivering your lines in a believable manner, hitting your marks. It's just a different it's just a different type of thing. But I don't know. I don't know. They're both enjoyable, so I don't really consider either one of them hard. But they definitely have their challenges.
Oh yeah.
So
So you were one of the movies I've seen you in, the actually the one that kind of introduced me to you was the Night of the Dead Sorority Babes.
Yes.
You know, excellent movie. I loved it. I
Love
speak
it.
very highly of it. You guys had a banger cast though. I mean, you had a lot of good people.
Right?
You know, uh,
And we have a legend in her own rights right there, Lynn Lowry.
oh
And
yeah,
modern day legends like Angel herself, Angel Bradford.
oh yeah,
Directorial debut. I think that was awesome. Just
oh yeah. I so kind of take us into the role of Victoria and kind of like how did you get into how did you get prep for the character?
Gotcha. So it was actually very fortunate that we were able to have input on kind of like how our characters developed in a sense, as like they were like, well, what kind of major would you want to do in university? So I was like, oh, well, I've always wanted to major in psychology. I love abnormal psychology. I did it for a little bit and it was too much school. So I was like, I'm okay. I learned some fun stuff and then I left. But you know, that's kind of where that came from. And Victoria or Vicky, Victoria, both, she's a very interesting character. You think she's one thing, and then it turns out she's someone completely different. And I love a good plot twist. Like,
Oh yeah,
I love a good plot twist. So it was a lot of fun, and just getting into the character. We stayed at the same place where we were filming, so it really did feel like a sorority. So it really, I feel like that kind of helped. And also we shot the proof of concept in the same location, and most of the girls returned for the feature, so it was kind of like a reunion. And once you've already kind of been able to play that character once, it's easy to kind of slip back into it again and you know
uh,
really fully embody it.
uh, uh, I do want to say like I said, banger cast. Everyone did phenomenal. Like every single. I don't want to spoil for anybody who hasn't seen it, but every single thing that happened to the characters kind of some caught me off guard, some did not. I was like, okay, one scene, the angel scene, wasn't expecting that. I was like, wow, that's just crazy. But
Right, like the twists on it are just impeccable. And for me, especially because we're filming in the same place we're staying, I would mostly kind of go outside or stay in one area while other people were filming. So I didn't even really kind of know what everything was going to look like together. And so when I saw it, it was just, I feel like I got the same experience, like somewhat as like the audience did, and like people watching it at home, because I didn't know exactly what everything was going to look like. I knew the story, I read the script, obviously, but being able to actually see it all, it's like,
oh yeah.
all right. I like
uh,
being able to be surprised.
oh yeah, I love a good twist in a movie. I've seen so many that sometimes it's kind of hard, but that one definitely had some twists that I did not see coming. So I will. I also want to say that you and Jessa played so well off of each other. Like I mean, you would literally, like you said, it was like a sorority. I mean, you just, you know. But
Yeah,
I
well,
do.
when you have good talent, it's very easy to have that portrayed on screen. So
Oh yeah. But I also want to say, like, as I was watching, I watched it a couple of times because first time pure entertainment, second see what I miss, and then third is kind of like to get a different look at it. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, these are some interesting characters because you wouldn't expect everybody saying what they say and doing what
hmm
they do. And then going into it the second and third time, I was like, not gonna lie, I probably seen it like 5 times, but still, uh, there was a certain kind of innocence, but kind of bad girl vibe that I was picking up from your character.
for me,
Yeah, because
yeah.
the innocence, because like your character was so happy and everything like that, and then as the movie progressed, I kind of started seeing a little bit of, yeah, the happy was there, but then kind of a little bit of a badass started coming out, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, and I think especially my character is high up there in the twists and turns of this film. And that's what I love. I love it about like I love that about it. And it's just it's very awesome being able to portray like both sides of the coin because you have to, I don't want to spoil anything either. So it's like having to basically be one way, be another, and then hide things. It's very interesting dynamic, you know?
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's awesome.
oh yeah. So let's talk about. I had to get that one out the way because it was killing me. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Prize Fighter. You played Jackie Jones.
Hmm.
What was it like filming that film, and kind of just like completely different from what other things you've been in?
Yeah, so actually that was a very interesting role. It was technically the first role I had back like in acting. I didn't audition for it though, so that's the difference. But it was the first role I had had back in acting, and I had actually just had surgery, so I don't know what I thought I was doing. But it was very fun to film. We filmed on location in Bynum, North Carolina, and there was like this little coffee shop, and it really added to it. I thought that was really cute and really fun. Because we got to like film in like a location, and I thought it was adorable. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Let's also talk a little bit about From the Dead, one I haven't seen, but kind of give us a synopsis of that one and just how you play into that one.
Yes, so From the Dead, that's in the trilogy that I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to remember the order that they go in. I There's The Night Screams at the Cabin, which I'm thinking is the last one. And for some reason my IMDb it will not update it that it's finished even though it's been out for a year. So we've everyone has contacted them, and so it won't update it. Don't know why. That was awesome. I love again that whole trilogy. Um, I love it, and From the Dead is awesome. I loved working with everyone. It's more of kind of like a spoofy, kind of like a scary movie esque kind of horror, but I love that. I love campiness. I love being able to make jokes in it as well. And I love being able to actually do physical stunts. And I got to do a lot of physical stunt work with that. And so it was really awesome. And everyone had a great time. Everyone was really, really fun to work with. And the jokes landed. I liked it. I don't feel like
So
there's a lot of comedy out there anymore. So.
there's really not. I mean, at least not a lot of good ones.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like
Uh,
the last good era of like comedy was like the early 2000s, like the 90s, early 2000s.
yep.
Like
I will.
peak awesome.
I will agree. Like for me, the last good batch of comedies that came out was probably, I don't know, the American Pie movies, I guess.
Yeah, which is what I it's that's it essentially the time that I'm talking about, I feel like. Well, I'm
Yeah.
including them in the time era that I'm trying to think of. Because it's like that and like Euro trips and like stuff like that. They're all great.
Oh yeah. Uh, Actually, Scotty doesn't know is one of my ringtones on my phone. So.
I actually heard the song before I ever saw the movie, which is funny. Apparently that happens to a lot.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about one of your upcoming movies.
Mhm.
I've seen a lot about it. Haven't, I mean, I've seen some, like footage, well, not footage, but like some stills and stuff. But you played Teresa in Amityville Barbie the movie.
Yes, so that is still in early production.
Hmm.
Um, I'm really excited for that. I will be back on set with Chessa, and I think it's primarily filming out of state, I believe in New York. I think some stuff might be shot here, but I'm not quite certain. But we're supposed to resume filming on that really, really soon here in the next few months, hopefully. So, but that's gonna be super fun. I basically play like this it's like fashionista, and uh Barbie kind of has this double life, which you can see that from the little trailers and clips that has come out. And I'm basically on the opposite side, trying to figure out if I want to help her or not, kind of thing. And there's more to it, but I don't want to give away too much. So,
Oh yeah. Uh, so I seen. I do want to talk about another one that's in pre-production. I seen the short, but he's making it into a feature film. You play Annie in Spirit Board Doorway to Death.
yes. And so actually, I just was talking to everyone literally yesterday, and hopefully in October, we're going to be starting production on that. So I'm super excited. We did have to postpone that for I think about a year or so. So it's going to be great to finally get that rolling. I've had a lot of projects in the works, and it's just like they're all about to start rolling. And so everyone's like, "Where are you? What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's coming. It's coming."
Oh yeah. uh, there's a couple other ones that are kind of drawing my attention. Like, well, I would say P Valley, but well, I don't. That's 3 episodes of TV show. You want to go a little bit into that?
Um, P Valley, it's definitely not horror at all. It's a show on Stars, and it's based down in the Dirty Delta down in Mississippi. But it's filmed in Georgia. And I love the show. I have loved it ever since it first came out. Katori Hills, she's amazing at writing it, and working on that show was awesome. I can't say, as much as they film when they do stuff in a jail. They're in an active jail. It's just they have that whole part kind of like blocked off, and they move everyone. But it's definitely crazy. It's fun. It's awesome. It's so lively, and getting to see all the sets are just phenomenal. And it's crazy to go from someone who watched the show and just could. And for me, I really could identify with the show. And I remember saying to one of my friends, I was like, I'm going to be on there. Just watch. And I said it joking half heartedly. I did it.
Oh
And I
yeah.
never really thought it would happen, though. That's the thing. So, just keep going. It'll happen.
Oh yeah. Uh, let's talk about one more. It's kind of uh, you you play 3 different characters. It's in post production. Devour.
Oh my gosh, Devour. Yes, I play three different characters, but there are a lot of people who play multiple characters in it, and I can't explain why, or it would give away too much. Um, that was an amazing set. Um, anyone who likes creature features or who loves creatures and creature effects is going to love this movie because, you know, just being able to be next to like giant, awesome things, and they're just moving, and you're like, how are you moving? And then you can see how it's being done, and then you're just like, wow, this is phenomenal. And like they had some of the best like creature designers working on these characters. There's a werewolf, there's a couple other things, and I can only say that because it's already in things. Like that's how I know I'm in the clear. I'm like, I know there's stuff that can't be said, and I'm like, but it's in the previews. So, and they actually just had their trailer release at Cannes, and it's gotten rave reviews, and it's awesome. And being out in actual sets, like I'm not one who likes CGI. I'm not a fan of CGI. They do too much with it. They don't use it to help anymore, in my opinion, and they just try and replace things. And the amount of practical effects that are used on this movie,
Yeah.
like just I love it. It's great. I love the stunt work. It's awesome. And the story's badass. Like it's just have you ever seen the Hex Sisters like on Scooby Doo?
Yep.
It's like that, but 10 times better.
Okay.
10
Okay.
million times better.
Gonna have to see it when it comes out.
You're going to have to. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Uh, so let's go a little bit because let's if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about like your journey just in general this year. I mean, the beginning of the year was a little bit emotional.
Yeah, yeah. So the beginning of the year, like in February, my cat that I had had for 11 years got sick. They didn't know what was wrong with him at all. Um, and he ended up passing away, and I had just started school as well. And at that time, due to when I was leaving and going, it was about 2.5 hour drive one way.
Yeah.
And so everything was just kind of tumbling over top of everything. And I actually ended up moving. Um, so it's been wild. I can't even believe it's almost July. Um,
Yeah.
and but no, the beginning of the year with Link passing, like anyone who knew me or anything like that like he was a huge part of my life and he always had been. So it was rough. And then there was just so much stuff going on at one time that wasn't planned. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Life is just raining right now. And I'm like, oh.
Oh
But
yeah.
things are like finally settling out and I'm like moved in and school's almost over, thank God. So oh.
So after your emotional beginning of the year,
Mhm.
it kind of because I'm not a stalker, but I do like if someone posts something, I do pay attention to it
Well,
because
yeah, I mean that's the point of posting, right?
yeah. So I did see like your emotional journey going from then to where you are now, and
Hmm.
not all things work the way we want. Trust me, I know. But it seems you are in a better place now than you were then because you're you got new family members with you. You got your schooling is almost done. It just seems like your journey so far is you're where you need to be. Would that be fair?
Absolutely. And I think I was always, on, the right journey, but sometimes it's just rough and like you have to take that time and it can be rough and sometimes things seem hopeless. Sometimes it doesn't seem like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You're like, oh, I'm never gonna get this job, I'm never gonna do that, this is never gonna end, oh, I suck at this, so blah, you know. And it does feel that way at the time, but like, especially having good people around you, it helps. It just helps bring you out of it. And then, knowing stuff is in the works and it's good. And, it is as cliche as it sounds, time does heal all wounds. Only time can heal wounds. There is nothing else well, emotional wounds anyway. There's nothing else that can heal an emotional wound other than time and, processing it. You just have to be able to process it. So,
Uh, uh,
and I am so appreciative to everyone who helped. Like, anyone who's checked in on me, even people I don't really know them personally, they just, like they see and they ask and make sure I'm okay. And so it's always appreciated.
oh yeah. I do want to say like because I always take a moment out of every episode to praise the people who are on here because I'm grateful for the guests that come on.
Oh,
I do want to say that your trajectory to where you're going, I'm saying five, not even maybe not even 5 years, but somewhere down the line, I see you tremendously making it to where your life is so much better just for your talent and who you are as a person. At least from what I know, because
oh, thank
you know,
you. I mean, it's got to. I don't really have another option. It's just kind of has to.
Oh yeah. You
If I
know,
just say it enough, it'll happen, right? That's the key, right?
oh yeah. uh, so if you could give advice to anyone that's trying to get into the industry, whether it be modeling, acting, just whatever, what advice would you give them? And what strategy, if you have one, would you give them?
I would definitely say be 100% genuine in who you are. Um, a lot of people try and be someone they're not. They try and act like someone to get anywhere here, there, or whatever. And, sometimes it can have a much more negative effect and a much more negative outcome than you would ever expect. And just don't don't compromise yourself because you think you need a role. Like, stick to what you want to do. Like, never be afraid to stick up for what you feel like should be done. If you think like, you know, if someone's asking you on set, like if you want to change a line or something and you feel pressured maybe because they've been in the business longer, don't feel pressured. If they ask you a question, give them your honest answer, you know? Um, as long as, I feel like you just treat people with kindness and respect, as long as you stand up for yourself in a respectful way and you have your boundaries, then that's awesome. Just be authentic. That's the biggest thing is be authentic. Like authenticity is awesome. Like everyone loves a good character, but if you go and you finally meet someone and then you can kind of tell you're like, huh, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be, like you never want someone to have that experience. And I'm just like, well, what you see is what you get. I'm here all around. Like, so, and it's sometimes to my own fault, but I'm just like, if those people don't like it, it's okay.
Yeah. That's actually great advice.
Mhm.
Yeah. If there was one person, whether it be Hollywood, independent, whoever, that you haven't worked with yet, that you would 100% love to work with, who is that?
If you would have asked me this like last week, I could have told you. Mm, let's see. Honestly, it would have to, okay, and it might sound cliche, and I don't care. I I would want to work with Johnny Depp.
Nothing wrong with that. Uh,
Like, and it's funny because there's two sides of the coin. There's Johnny Depp and there's Kevin Smith.
yes.
Like,
Okay.
I'm like, and I've met him and I've talked to him and I've like gone to premieres and stuff. But I've not worked with him, but I'm like, yo, he's so cool. And like, he's just been amazing. So, but yeah, no, I actually did my public speaking project on Johnny Depp when I was in college. So, and a lot of people don't realize that his first role was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah,
that's yeah. I mean, what's funny though is like you're right because well, there's a lot of people. I'm shocked at how many people haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street.
right. I'm like, it's
You
a classic.
know, like my wife never seen it,
What?
and she refuses to watch it because she don't like horror movies. Yeah, I mean, if
Well,
it's
fair, I guess. I can respect it.
I'm glad you can because I can't. I'm like you want me to watch Disney, but you won't watch horror.
All right, fair enough. There should be some compromise.
But like she'll watch a horror comedy because she loves Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
and stuff. And I'm like, well, that's not
Does,
really
does
horror.
she like the scary movie?
Yeah,
Well, that's soft horror. It still has a little gore in it. jump scares.
Oh yeah,
I mean, the small hand is enough to, or the strong hand is enough to scare anyone.
I found that so funny.
It was hilarious. I loved it. Everything about that is great. I love that they're coming out with a sixth one and it's going to be canon right after the third or right after the second one.
Oh yeah. Uh, so we're kind of coming toward the end of the show, but I do want to give you a couple minutes to plug your socials, where people can reach out to you if you want them to or not. That's up to you, and just where they can see the movies you've been in, and just whatever you want to plug.
Yeah. So, yeah, my socials are really easy. I try and keep it straight across the board. It's Ashley Amberlynn, ASHLEIGH, and then Amberlynn. One word, AMBERLYNN. You know, I had that name before Ted came out, and then it just Tammy Lynn, Jamie Lynn, Amy Lynn. It just was there. But yeah, so all across the board, same thing. I have Instagram, Facebook. I do have a Snapchat, and that's it. I don't have Twitter. I have TikTok, but I don't use it. So unfortunately I'm not really on those. But other than that, you can check on my IMDb for any upcoming stuff that I'm working on or anything that you may not know I'm in. So, but yeah, you can go on Tubi, Amazon. There's gonna be a new movie actually coming up. It's gonna be a sci-fi film, so you'll have to stay tuned on my socials to see more about that. I love it.
Okay,
I'm gonna be delving into sci-fi, so it's gonna be great.
that's a good thing.
Oh, and so I'm really excited about the character. So, yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, other than that, you'll just have to stay tuned and see what's coming up.
yeah. I know I'm gonna be staying tuned. So
Say it's a wild ride. You'll never be bored, I promise.
I don't doubt that. uh, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're most welcome. Uh, Anytime you want to come on here, I tell everybody, anytime you want to come on, once you're on NC-17, you have a home with us. You come on to plug your new movies, talk movies, or even just to say, Josh, you got a booger in your nose. So you can say whatever you want to say.
Well, I appreciate
All right,
it.
no problem. The good thing is I clean it out every day. So,
Good, good. Got to
yeah.
make sure there's no bats in the cave.
Oh, I've never heard it called that before.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
Fair
see,
enough.
I just learned something new. All right, it
Okay,
has.
no. Well, maybe I just sound like my grandmother or something.
Hey, I'm not wrong with that. Your grandmother, your family is most important.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, but thank you for coming on. You've been an all-star, a rock star, every kind of star except for a falling star.
Ah, thanks.
All right, and
Thank you.
you have a good night, and we will
You as
definitely
well.
be. Oh, I get to work on my script a little bit more, so
Woo! Yes,
you know. But
that's gonna be fun.
oh yeah, definitely look forward to talking to you again. Definitely going to be checking out more of your movies that I haven't seen, which obviously From the Dead is one of them, and I see it right here. The Night Screams at the Cabin.
Hmm.
I'll be checking those out,
Yeah.
and the third one, yeah. All right, but until next time, thank you. We appreciate you, and I normally close it with everyone saying everyone stay in C-17. I'm going to close it a little bit different. I've been closing it different every time now.
Okay.
I want to say that when life throws you a curveball, knock it out the park like it's Field of Dreams.
Yes, I love it. I was like thinking that, and I was like, please.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Ashley, thank you for coming on. We will
Thank
definitely
you.
talk to you later. You're
Good
welcome.
night, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.